Hey lighting people! Today I'm going to tell you about my absolute #1 favorite add-on to GrandMA3. If you're thinking I'm going to talk about some plugin, you're wrong, because there's a mobile app. Yes, you heard that correctly. There's a mobile app that you can use to remote control GrandMA3. So, obviously, that's amazing. The app is called G3Link, and it was not developed by MA Lighting or anybody affiliated with them, but it is a really cool app. So I'm going to show you how it works and some of the pros and cons and why I am not using it at the church, because obviously I'm at my house right now using it with my own PC, and there's a reason for that. All right, first off, obviously, the biggest thing you need to know is how to connect it to the console, because if you don't connect it to the console, you can't do anything with it. So let's look at that. So this is my app interface. It defaults to this view when you open it, and you'll see this button up here that's green. Well, it's not a button. This indicator that's green will normally be red when you're disconnected. So in order to make sure that you can connect, all you have to do is go into your in and out on the console, OSC, and then you need to check all of these settings and make sure that they align with what you have in the G3Link app. So for instance, the OSC name in the G3Link app, it needs to match this name. The OSC prefix in the app needs to match this. They are case sensitive too. The port needs to match, mode needs to be set to UDP. The destination IP needs to be set to your actual device IP, which I don't know why it was actually working with this being like this. I'm not a network expert, but it should be this one. And at any rate, this is the device IP. So it was working with being connected to that. Also, that is not English. I think that's German. But anyway, so next thing, like some of these settings need to be set to yes. And then you need these enabled. You need this set to the same network that your phone is on. And then this needs to be set correctly. So at that point, then you can click connect on your app, and it will take a minute, and then it will turn green and it'll say that it's connected. Also, the GrandMA3 IP address here in the app needs to be set to your GrandMA3 IP address, which you can find by going to network and then looking at this number. So this needs to match this. Okay, so we've got our app connected. That's great. If you're ever wondering like how to do that, make sure everything's done, you can scroll down on this page of the G3Link app to the manual, hit open short manual, and it'll show you all of that information as well. So I just kind of gave you a fast version and obviously demonstrated it, but all of that information is here so you can reference it. Now, I'm going to let you know what the different tiers are of app usage. So there is a free version, but you can't do very much with it. So normal function of the app without any payments disables all of these pages, which, maybe not this one, I don't remember, which we'll go over what those pages are in a minute, but normally you only have this view. So what you can do with that is once you've connected to the console, you can use the number pad, these buttons, and you can type in a command. So I could select fixture 101, please, and as you can see, it's selected in my 3D view. I could put it to 0, and there's a fade time, and it's also hard to see because all my lights are on, but it goes to 0, and you can see that value change in the encoder bar. The clear button lights up because we have fixtures selected, so I'm going to clear out. And then of course you can type in commands as well. Oh, another thing, I don't know if you noticed, is it will put in your fixtures that are selected here. So you can see the first however many that is selected in your interface here. So that functionality is available with the free version. If you want more than that, which is very useful, things like being able to select groups from the console, being able to work in the encoder bar. I'm not 100% sure what all of this is paid anymore, but I'm pretty sure all of this is on the paid version. You can always just look at the free version and see what you're missing. You have things like the ability to work in the encoder bar, adjust faders and encoders and hit buttons that are synced with the console. So it's the actual executors from the console you can use on your phone, macros, and then this is your fixture sheet. So, or patch sheet, I guess. It's a sheet which shows you the patch information for all the fixtures. So, you unlock all of that with a one-time payment of $12, which honestly, that is like such a good price for all of this functionality. It's amazing. You'll see in a minute, like there's so much you can do with it. And then there's also a supporter version, which is a monthly subscription of $6.50. And what that does for you is a couple of things. So it's just two things. It's optional if you want to support the developer and have a few more cool features. One of them is vertical attribute wheels. So normally when you are trying to adjust things in here in the encoder bar effectively, you have an encoder like this, like a rotary. If you turn on vertical attribute wheels, then you get a vertical wheel, which is a little bit easier to use. So, I mean, that's kind of up to personal preference, but I think it's useful. And then the next thing is developer mode, which gives you this thing called a gamepad, where you can actually connect a controller of whatever type. You can connect a remote for like gaming to your phone, and then you can map the keys to different things. You can use the game controller on your phone to then control the console, which I think that would be a really cool interface. Like you could be really fast with it potentially. I don't have one. I'm not a gamer. I don't have any remotes, and so I can't even test this out. I just think it would be cool. So if you have something like that, then you can keep that in mind and maybe consider paying for that subscription if it will be worth it to you. So those are the tiers of what you can pay for, what you can get in the app. Now I'm going to let you know why I'm not using this at my church. So it comes down to the network. So I wanted this app so badly. When I first heard of it, I was like, this is amazing. I can walk around and, position the fixtures while being closer and seeing what's going on. And I can go to different parts of the room and run cues from my phone, and I don't have to be at the console, and I can see how it all appears in the room. Well, that didn't work out because the way my church has lighting set up, we have the lighting network on like its own nice isolated network. So I can't connect my phone to the network that the light console is on. And there are other venues that will do that. It's not uncommon because what happens is, A, you don't want people to be able to hack in and mess with your lighting console. And B, you don't want to overload the network because it uses a lot of resources. You'll even find that you can't connect a lighting console to another one in a session using Wi-Fi. You have to have a wired connection because the consoles use so much data. So our church has lighting on an isolated network because we don't want anything to potentially mess up that connection and mess up our lights in the middle of a service. That would be really bad. So if you're thinking about using this app, do check if you work in, only one location or in multiple locations where that might be a thing. Check and see if they have lighting on an isolated network or if it's something that you can connect to. Because if you can connect to it, then it's fine, it's good, it's all whatever. But if you can't connect to it, this app isn't going to do you any good, unfortunately. And that's a bummer because it's amazing, and now I'm going to show you why it's amazing. So first off, obviously we have this page where you can select fixtures, use this number pad, you can type in a command. I could do a go plus, and now it has advanced to the next queue. So that's really cool. Also, you have the second page of groups, and on the groups page, you can select a group of fixtures. You also have the clear, you have some of these buttons. You can see the selection up here again, and you can type in commands on this page. Now, one thing to note is not all of my groups are visible here. Over here on this page, you have information to set how many groups you want synced to your phone. So how many groups starting from where and how many are you actually going to see. So this would allow you to kind of just sort your groups to only show you ones that would be useful. So you're not scrolling through all of these because you don't have like their numbers or anything here. You don't have their appearances. it's just a lot of groups to look through if you're trying to find something. So you can limit that. Maybe you can have a specific section of groups in your groups pool that are specifically for this, and you could tell it to start at the first one and only show through the last one of those. You can specifically use them when using this app or whatever. So there's options, right? So there's that. And then the next page right here is the Encoder Bar page. So we have these different tabs, just like you have in the Encoder Bar. And then again, I have these set to the vertical wheels. You can adjust them. I have found this to be a little bit buggy at times when working. If you watch like the Encoder Bar on the computer screen, when I change tabs, it doesn't change. And then sometimes, like, I don't know, it looks like it's working right now, but sometimes I've had it not, it'll like lose programmer data after you've changed to a different attribute and you're adjusting it, it'll lose some of the data for the other ones. I don't know why. You don't have phaser data in here, unfortunately. You only get the values, and you can't do relative or fade or delay unless I'm missing something. I don't see any way to do that. You can adjust the values. If you have multiple tabs of like layers of attributes within one of them, let's see, my color doesn't on this. Oh, yes, it does. You can click on this button to change to the next one, and then this will change your encoder resolution. This will bring up presets in that preset pool and in all pools. Again, you're not actually syncing all of your presets. I don't know for sure how this is affecting that, because I know it's total. If it's showing me this many presets here, the total presets that are being shown are definitely more than 18. Oh, I think it's 18 in each pool. Okay, that makes sense. So you can do that. Oh, then you also have update and store buttons here. And then you have a reset button, which will let you just reset any attribute to the default value, which is great. That doesn't even exist on the console, so I like that. And then the next thing is we have this page, and this page is, of course, your executors. So it defaults to page 1, wing 1. You can adjust these faders. You can hit these buttons. Oh, that's a select fixtures. I didn't realize that was what was assigned to that. It should be black. All the rest of them are black. And sometimes it takes a second after you click on the button before it responds. So you have to like hold it down for a second before getting that response. So it's not great for operating because your timing can be a little bit off, and then sometimes they don't respond. But you can scroll to the side, and you can scroll to the next wing as well. So you can keep going. You don't necessarily have to stay on the first wing, and you don't have to change it here, although you can. Then you can change the page here. So I could go to any other page I want, and there we go. Next page is macros. So you have macros. You can click on any of these, and this is an optional setting that you can turn off. So it's confirming before I do it. You can change that in here. And then if you don't have it, then it'll just do it as soon as you do that. Maybe I shouldn't have loaded the show file, but anyway, whatever. So there's that. Also, you can change the macro sync just like you can with groups and presets. And then, yes, this is the only one left. So this is your patch, like view, sort of. It shows you a list of all of your patched fixtures. And obviously this is synced to the console, but you can also load a saved patch, or you can save the patch. And then, I don't know, the only other thing I can think of to show you here is we have a flashlight button on the app. So you can control your phone flashlight from the app too. I mean, that just makes sense. It's a lighting app. Obviously, you need a flashlight control on your lighting app. Another cool thing that you can do, actually, I almost forgot about this, is if you change the phone to landscape mode, you get a slightly different view, and it can be better in some cases. I think this app is also available on like iPads and tablets, which could be nicer for some things. So you can change these encoder tabs like this, which is a little bit easier. And The executors, you can actually access the X keys, which you can't otherwise. And you can change between the different sets of rows. So there you go. Landscape view is a little better. We have our macros, and this isn't really any different. And this is a mess in this view, but that's how that works. So, yeah, a few cons about the app. I would say just there's a few bugs with sometimes the programmer data when you're switching tabs in the encoder bar on the mobile app. I've been noticing some things get lost sometimes, and sometimes buttons feel a little slow to respond. But honestly, for a remote control mobile app, I do not have a problem with that. I also think the price is fantastic for the amount of value that this item provides. It's great. You just have to make sure that you're not running an isolated network before you go and, you know, try to start using an app like this that will not work unless you can connect your phone to the same network. So it's available on both the Google Play Store and the App Store. And I'm using an Android, by the way. I should have said that at the beginning. I have an Android, I have a Google Pixel phone, and obviously this works great. I don't know how different it is on iPhone, but presumably should be about the same. The amount of work that must have gone into this app, like, I have no idea. It's very good for what it is, and it's a fantastic tool to be able to use for controlling your lighting console on a mobile device. And I long for the day that I can use it with some real life fixtures, because it's going to be so helpful. So if you enjoyed this video, do please give it a like. You can go check out the app in your app store of choice, and I will see you in the next video. Until then, happy programming.